Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rama, and in today's video, I'll be ranking every single business in Grand Theft Auto Online. But I'm going to be doing it a different way. See, every single tier list I've ever seen posted for GTA has been ranking the businesses and properties by S tier or, D tier. And that always makes sense. People like to rank certain businesses really high and other businesses really low. But maybe you want to know exactly how much money you can earn per hour with each of these businesses. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showcasing in today's video. I'm going to be ranking each of these properties by the hourly income that you can expect to make with them. Now, I should mention, obviously, passive businesses are going to be in the 100K to less than 100K tab. But that's understandable. They are passive businesses and they are not going to be the big money makers. They're going to be the money in the background. So do keep that in mind. With that being said, let's get straight into it, starting off with the nightclub. Now, the nightclub is a passive business. There's no way to make money with this property unless you're doing passive income. But it's actually a pretty solid amount of passive income. If you have all the warehouse technicians properly set up, paired with your popularity inside of the nightclub itself, you're making around $112,000 every hour, which is pretty good. And because of that, we put it right into the $100,000 an hour category. It's a decent business. I'm not going to say, like, obviously the nightclub's the biggest money earner, but it is a great passive money earner. If you are playing the game for a while with a couple friends, let's say you're playing GTA for 4 hours with a couple friends, and you just keep your nightclub popularity restocked every 48 minutes or so, which will only take you 5 minutes to do, you'll have 400 grand in your nightclub after that, which is pretty good. And it's definitely a great example of where the nightclub does a pretty good job on its popularity. Now, the math lab is obviously another passive business, and this one's going to be less than 100K. Unfortunately, when it comes to the motorcycle club businesses, they are quite useless, and the math lab it's the second best out of them. The Coke lockup is the number one, but unfortunately at the end of the day, they just don't earn that much money, especially per hour. You're probably going to be looking at around 80-ish to $75,000 every hour with the math lab, and that's without even adding into the fact you also have to pay for the goods, which lowers it substantially by about maybe 30%. So you're really not earning much money with the math lab. And let's do the other motorcycle club businesses as well. We have the weed, we have the coke, which is going to go to the 100K, cash factory less than 100K, and document forgery is like terrible. Where the heck is the document forgery? There it is. So we can see all of the motorcycle club businesses are going to make it into the less than 100K category. They are pretty dang terrible, if you ask me. You are not going to be able to sell them in public lobbies, which means that realistically, you're just not making money with them. There's only one decent motorcycle club business, and that is the Coke. It actually does earn okay money. It's about 110-ish thousand, just like the nightclub, which means, yeah, you can actually get some pretty good hourly income with the Coke lockup. But yeah, the math lab, grass, cash, and document forgery are all pretty terrible when it comes to the actual passive income, and I would not recommend to run them unless you like long, painful sale missions, which involve post-stop bans, trash masters. The sale missions were so bad, Rockstar increased the timer to 45 minutes. But you're telling me you're going to spend 45 minutes to sell, I don't know, a counterfeit cash factory to only earn like 500K tops? Why would you do that when you could just do a Cluckin farm raid in half the time and earn double the money? I don't know. Personally, I do think that a lot of the motorcycle club businesses are completely antiquated. They should get about a 50% cash bonus, and the amount of vehicles required for delivery should be halved. And then I'd say they're actually pretty good. But right now, there's just no reason to really use them. The CEO cargo is next. Well, technically not really the I guess it is crates. I'm just double checking here because sometimes people put like CEO and then crates now. But CEO is the crates because we have vehicle cargo here. So this is special cargo. And special cargo is an interesting one. If you're telling me, okay, I'm only selling when it's double money, then obviously it's going to be somewhere upwards in the 800K to 1 million range. But realistically, if we're talking about special cargo and you are constantly sourcing and selling the goods, you're going to be looking at around $400,000 to $500,000 an hour. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and put it into $600,000 an hour. Special cargo really is not a great business. It's not bad, but at the same time, it's definitely not one of the better. It's only decent if you sell it on a public lobby and you get that 50% cash bonus, which can earn you a decent chunk of money, but unfortunately, it is a very sus thing to do because obviously when you're selling your special cargo in a public lobby, there's also the possibility that it might be blown up, which I don't think any of us want to happen. So yeah, that can be a little bit sus. And it's not like other businesses. You know, if you're doing a acid lab sale mission in a public lobby and somebody blows up your product, you can just go into a new lobby before it's completely blown up, and it'll put 95% of it back into your acid lab and you can start the sale mission again. When it comes to CEO crates, if one of your vehicles are blown up, you fail the entire mission and lose basically everything. In other words, yeah, CEO can be very, very sus, but it does pay decently, especially with the fact that we also have the passive income now that you can use for the CEO warehouses as well. That's why I'm putting it into the 600,000 an hour. It's not bad, but it's not great either. It's kind of like in the middle for the most part. Vehicle cargo is going into the 400,000 range. It's not a bad business, but it's also nothing incredible. You can sell 3 to 4 vehicles an hour. I think it's 3. I think it's a 20-minute cooldown for each vehicle you sell in vehicle cargo. And each one can sell for 150,000 in a public lobby. However, you also have to pay 20,000 to repair it, which means it's actually like 130K. That means you can earn about 300 and what, $90,000 an hour with vehicle cargo. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great either. It's a fun business though because the missions are quick. It's only like a 2 to 5 minute sale mission. You're just driving a vehicle from point A to point B, and not only that, but it's a quick source as well. It's like a 5 minute source. So you earn decent money with the business. You just can't sell the vehicles incredibly fast, which means the amount of money you've earned is limited to obviously how many vehicles you can sell per hour. And because you can only do 3, it's 390,000 an hour of profit. To be fair, that's not terrible. If you compare the amount of work you're putting on vehicle cargo versus something like the Hangar, vehicle cargo is flat better, but we'll be talking about that later. Next up, we have the bunker, and the bunker is a pretty good passive business. It's earning $100,000 every hour, just like the Nightclub and the Kosatka. The bunker has some advantages over the Kosatka, mainly down to the fact that the sale missions are easier, and you don't really have to worry about being raided at all. There is no raids with the bunker for the most part. I've been raided like maybe 3 times in my history of playing GTA, and that's 8 years plus experience, 10,000 hours. So realistically, you're not going to run into any problems with the bunker. It is not a business that's ever going to be raided. As I said, it earns over $100,000 every hour. And not only that, it actually is pretty good when it comes to the sale missions, as long as you don't sell it once it's over halfway. If you're a solo player and you're selling it past the halfway bar, you're going to be getting 3 to 4 vehicles. And at that point, yeah, it's going to be a little sus, especially if you get like the Dune buggy, this is the Dune FAV sale mission, or the Merryweather one where you have to drive each individual insurgent to a location and then kill a bunch of Merryweather guards and then go to the next location and do it 5 times. That one's really annoying as well. And because of that, some of the sale missions can be really rat, and you definitely don't want to fill it up fully if you are selling solo. But because the bunker is a very easy public lobby sale mission, you can earn actually pretty decent money with it. But again, it's a passive business. They are on the lower scale of money earning potential. Next up, we have the facility, and the facility is an interesting one because we obviously have 3 heists with the facility. We have Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 for the Doomsday heist finales. The Doomsday heist finale, I think, earns around 1.8 million, and it's going to take you probably about an hour and a half to do everything start to finish. It's a lot of time, and as I said, it earns about 1.8 million, but you're playing it with 2 people, split that in half, it's like 900,000, and then if it's an hour and a half to 2 hours to set up, you're looking more at like 450 to $600,000 an hour for the finale. The best paying heist, in my opinion, is the Bogdan, which is the second one. That one's going to earn you like, I think, 1.5 million, and that one's going to take you probably an hour to do everything. Is split it in half, 750,000 for each person for an hour of work. So we're going to put the facility into the 800K range. I think a group of players that are doing it pretty fast and know what they're doing can earn very solid money with the facility. It does have downsides, obviously. The heists themselves can be very tricky, and sometimes you might die doing them, but they do pay pretty well. I do think the facility is one of the better paying heists in the game. It just is very tricky to do properly. But yeah, it earns pretty good money. And as I said, because of that, I'm going to rank it in the 800K to $700,000, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say you're a decent player grinding with it, and you can earn about $800,000 an hour. The problem is you need two people to do these heists. And at that point, why are you doing the facility when you can just do something like the Diamond Casino heist? So definitely something to weigh there. Next up, we have the Hangar, and the Hangar's going into the $400,000 range. At the end of the day, the Hangar just isn't very good. I know a lot of people like to say it's great, but as we can see, it's smack dab in the middle. When you compare the Hangar to Special Cargo and the fact that both of them are making very similar income, I just don't really see much of a reason why you'd want to gruelingly grind crates for hours upon hours to then just do a sale mission when you could just grab a vehicle, sell a vehicle, 20 minutes later, sell a vehicle, 20 minutes later, sell a vehicle. I just find that so much easier and so much more chill than doing something like the Hangar and grinding your butt off so that you can sell crates, especially when Special Cargo pays more. I mean, yes, I know the Hangar sale missions are easier than Special Cargo because it's a single vehicle, but at the end of the day, I don't care if the sale missions are easier if I'm selling in an invite-only lobby, and judging that most of you do, it means that, in general, CEO is just flat better. Because of the fact you have that passive income. You can pay Lupe $7,500 for CEO crates, and then you can source them as well yourself and do double the work. Where with Hangar businesses, you don't have that ability. It's just one crate you can source per hour, and you're only making like a $5,000 to $10,000 profit off that crate. So I don't think the Hangar's terrible, but I do think that people who constantly say it's one of the better businesses are wrong, and they should do the math on how much they're actually earning compared to, like, I don't know, one Cayo Perico heist. You could make the argument, oh, doing the Cayo Perico heist is boring. So you're telling me grinding crates over and over and over, doing the same sale missions over and over are fun? I don't know about that. If you want to play a fun business, do heists with a friend, do the Doomsday heist, do things like that. Grinding the Hangar is not what I would consider fun. The Arena Workshop is a business, but it's one that nobody really uses. You have the arena war jobs you can do, but realistically, nobody's ever doing them. I'm going to put them at like 100K an hour. I think the arena is one of the worst businesses for actually earning money. The only thing I own the arena for is 30 car garage slots and the ability to upgrade my arena vehicles. It is probably one of the worst earning businesses in the game. I don't actually know how much it earns because I've not really done the arena war jobs for like multiple years since it was added into the game. I ground them a lot and then I stopped. I don't think anybody really does them anymore. So yeah, we're just going to put them at 100K. Call it a day. The arcade is the first business to make it into the $1 million an hour category. This business is great, but you do need two people to make it work. It has a passive income as well. It earns $5,000 every 48 minutes, which is, well, basically nothing. But it does obviously have the ability to earn money as well with the Diamond Casino heist. And because the Diamond Casino heist only has like a 48-minute cooldown, because you have to do it with two people, and because of the fact it earns so much money if you do it right with a decent take, you can easily be earning upwards of $1 million every hour with the Diamond Casino heist. Because you have to remember, there's also passive businesses you have in the background when you're doing these things, so because of that, there is a little bit more money you can add here and there. But in general, if you're just doing the Diamond Casino heist, you can be looking at a easily $1 million an hour. That is great when you think about it, and it's one of the best businesses in the game. But we're not done yet. We're talking about another great business, and that is the Kosatka. Kosatka is also $1 million plus hour, per business. It's a great heist. I messed that English up there a moment ago. But yeah, the Cayo Perico heist is insane. On average, with doing a hard mode take, you're taking home from 1.2 million to 1.5 million. Because if you get something like a pink diamond on hard mode, it's an easy like 1.6 to $7 million solo target. And if you get something like the tequila, it's like a $1.2 million take. For 45 minutes of work. That is insane. Now, yes, there is a very long cooldown, but as I've pointed out many times in the past, you can simply swap to a second character, which everybody has access to, purchase a Kosatka on that account, and then do it again there. So you can do two Cayo Perico heists, and then you have to wait maybe an hour to do them again. And I'm counting that as the hourly income, which means, yeah, you can easily earn over $1 million an hour with the Cayo Perico heist. It is the best business in the game. There's really no doubt in my mind there. Technically, the arcade is better, but because nobody really grinds with two people for the most part, the Cayo Perico heist is still better. The setups are easier, they're quicker. Yeah, that's really as simple as it is. The auto shop is an interesting business because the auto shop, we obviously have a bunch of different ways of earning income. The auto shop has the ability to send cars with your mechanics, and then it also has the auto shop contracts. And the contracts are what we're mainly going to be focusing on, paired with a little bit of extra income sprinkled in with the vehicle delivery system. The auto shop is going to pay you around what, like 170 to $160,000 per mission, and it's going to take you about 20 to 25 minutes per mission. So if we do that math properly, I'm going to say you're earning around $600,000 an hour with the auto shop. It's actually a pretty decent business, and we're going to do the garment factory next as well because the garment factory is similar to the auto shop. But yes, with the auto shop, you are looking at around $600,000 an hour, similar to special cargo. I would definitely say it's more fun than special cargo. The missions are really exciting. You get to mess around with some really cool things. But what I will say about the auto shop is, unironically, I think it's the hardest missions in the game. There's a lot of times the NPCs in the auto shop missions will just blast you in the brains or instantly kill you when driving into your car. It's very annoying. And because of that, I even find myself dying every now and then on some of the missions. It's not every time, obviously. If I messed around with them a lot, I probably would be fine. But for somebody that hasn't messed around with the auto shop yet, if any of you are watching today's video, the missions can be a bit challenging. The nice thing, though, is at least they give you a weapon loadout preset, so you can actually have a pretty solid weapon loadout if you're a new player and don't normally have access to a lot of weapons. Overall, auto shop is pretty solid, especially because of the fact it has the 5% discount on all vehicle upgrades and the fact it also has a 10-car garage, and it's one of the nicest looking properties in the game, so pretty dang sweet. The garment factory is a $2.3 million business, and it's the latest business which has been added into the game. And the garment factory is also going to be going into the 600K per hour category. The garment factory is pretty good, and it's definitely better than the auto shop for many reasons. You have the ability to store your terabyte inside of it, which you can now add a special upgrade to, allowing you to turn it into basically a terminal command center. Not only that, the garment factory has missions just like the auto shop. They take about 20 minutes to complete, and they're going to pay you like 200-ish thousand dollars every time you complete them. So realistically, with the garment factory, you're earning about $600,000 every hour with the business because it's 20 minutes multiplied by 3. And it also has a slight passive income of like $1,500 to $1,800 every 48 minutes. We'll round that up to $2,000 every hour. It's pretty useless, but hey, I mean, if you're playing the game for a week or something, and I don't know, you leave it AFK, you might have 100K in that safe. But realistically, you're not going to be earning much money with the garment factory, at least in that regard. It's not a very good passive income earner. It would be like here. That's where it would be in passive income. But it does earn decent money hourly. It's an incredibly cheap business, and it's one of the best businesses for the bang of the buck you're spending. Bail office is an interesting one, and I think we're going to put the bail office in the $400,000 an hour category because that's really about as good as it's going to get. The bail office has a once a day special contract, which will earn you like $130,000, and then you have your normal contracts, and that's it. The bail office also has a slight passive income, which earns you like maybe $30,000 every 48 minutes. So if you pair the bounty targets, you know, your primary one, which is worth 100K, and then you add that with your 3 special targets, which you can do each day, which are worth like 30. Well, no, you can do them. You can do 3 of them, and then it resets in another 48 minutes. So it's kind of useless on its income. Honestly, I'd make like a $250,000 to $300,000 category, and I'd put the bail office there, but we're going to put it in $400,000 an hour. Maybe if you're doing like optimal bail office grinding, you can earn that much. But in reality, it's pretty dang dookie balls. Don't use the bail office. I would much rather use the hangar or vehicle cargo over it. So that's where we're going to be placing it. We have the OG apartment heists. And the apartment heists are pretty good, to be entirely honest. They earn solid money. The Pacific Standard alone has like a 1.8 or 1.7 million dollar target, but it is 4 people. So if you split that up by 4 people, it's obviously a lot less. However, if you haven't ever done them, they are great because you get a first time bonus, you get an all in order bonus, and if you do it with the same crew, you get a same crew bonus. So you can easily earn upwards of $3 to $4 million for your first run through just on the Pacific Standard. If you add that with all the other bonuses, yeah, you can actually earn pretty good money. The apartment heists in general, I'm going to put at about the $600,000 an hour range. It's not great. When it was double money, I was earning pretty good income with them. But in general, because it's 4 people, and because of the fact they do take a decent amount of time to start up and do everything with, I don't really think they're anything too spectacular unless you are doing them quickly and efficiently. I think $600,000 an hour, though, is a respectable income for how old they are, especially after the fact Rockstar did buff their income quite a substantial amount. The Cluckin farm raid is actually really good. The Cluckin farm raid is going to take you around 40 minutes, and it earns you upwards of $500,000 an hour. So if we say it's 40 minutes and you're earning $500,000 an hour, we can add in an additional 20 minutes and it's going to be an additional what 250,000. So we're going to put the Cluckin into the 800k range because realistically, if you think of it, you're doing the Cluckin farm rate. It's going to take you 40 minutes, and then you have to wait the cooldown, and then you're doing it again for another 40 minutes. So if you space that properly, right one after another, it's going to rank about $800,000 an hour every time you do it, which is pretty good income. And because of that, yeah, the Cluckin farm rate is a solid business, especially because it's free. If you are a beginner, the Cluckin farm rate is one of the best properties in the game, and it's going to earn you a lot. It really is. For the amount of time you put into it to the amount of money you make out of it, it's incredible. I think the Cluckin farm rate really is underrated, and it's something I would highly, highly recommend for people to mess around with. Obviously, you can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions down below when it comes to the Cluckin farm rate, but in general, it's a really, really good property and something that you should be messing around with. The Chop Shop, hmm, what should we saying for the Chop Shop? I'm going to put the Chop Shop in. Well, let's see. You got the passive income, which earns about $100,000 an hour. It's actually really good because you have the $70,000 when the cars are scrapped plus the 24,000. So that's like 100k an hour. And then you pair that with the ability to also do the once or 3 times a week missions, which pay you around $300,000 to $400,000, and they take probably, I don't know how much time they take, probably 30-ish minutes to do. I'm going to put the Chop Shop into the 600k an hour category. The only problem with the Chop Shop is the fact that once you do the 3 missions, that's it. You got to wait a whole week. So it can earn 600k an hour, but you can only do it for, a couple missions, and then you have to wait a whole week. In general, the passive income of the Chop Shop is going to be where you're really earning your income. It actually is really good in terms of passive income. I was tempted to do like the Chop Shop in the 600k and then also the 100k. That way you could see like the passive. Oh, didn't mean to hit my mic there. Sorry about that. But yeah, we'll leave it in the 600k. I think that's a fair assessment. It is a very good business, actually. I think the Chop Shop is very underrated, and it's one of the properties I use a lot. The Acid Lab is going to be 100k. And the reason why is because the Acid Lab does have a double money income once a day that you can use, and that will boost it from like the 70k it earns normally to 140k. And if you even that out with, how much time you're going to be playing GTA and its overall normal income of 70,000, I think we can round that up to 100k. I should also mention the Acid Lab is a single vehicle sale mission, and it's super easy to sell in public lobbies. So I think that it's actually one of the best passive businesses in the game, and one that you should definitely be messing around with. And then we finish off with the agency. The agency is going to go into the $1 million an hour. It's definitely the worst of the three. If you compare the agency to the Kosatka and the arcade, it is the worst. But for an hour and like 15 minutes, the agency earns $1 million flat. And if you pair that with the passive income you can be making from your security contracts that you may have done in the past, and with the fact that you can pair in some payphone hits, and you also get a little bit of cash for doing the missions while doing the agency Dr. Dre VIP. It means that, yeah, you can earn close to $1 million an hour. It's probably like around 900K, but I think we'll round that up to a million. I think that's fair. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is every single business ranked on how much money they earn hourly. Obviously, passive income is going to be on the lower end, but in general, pretty good when it comes to a lot of these businesses. We can see the drastic difference between things like vehicle cargo, the hangar, to then something like the facility, and obviously the three top businesses. Let me know your personal feelings, opinions, and everything in the comments down below. And if you like this style of ranking, let me know. I might do the normal one as well, but I think that this is a better idea for people to get an idea of what businesses are most important to work with, and then the less important they are as you make your way down. Either way, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.